Hello and welcome guys, and welcome to this short vlog. And yes, this video is in continuation of my yesterday's video in which I had told you about a circular which is released by the Institute of Cost Accountants of India regarding revision of the minimum stipend limits for the CMA students. Now, after the video was uploaded, there were a lot of deliberations upon certain nitty-gritties of the video, and I had opined my view on those nitty-gritties. However, within last 24 hours, we have received some emails from the institute which has completely turned our opinion upside down. Now we have a very different opinion on certain minute points regarding this circular, which are very, very important for all of you to know and understand. There are two major points which were left unanswered, which the institute has answered today via their emails, which I'm going to share with all of you. The two questions are: number one, whether this circular is applicable for the students who are undergoing the training as of now, or whether it will be applicable for students who will be starting off their training effective 1st August 2024. That is question number one. Question number two, whether these limits are mandatory in nature or just a recommendation to the industry. These are mandatory to be followed by the industry, mandatory to be followed by the organizations where CMA articles are placed, or it is just a recommendation. The companies are free to not to follow these recommendations and choose their own standards of stipend. That is my question number two. Let's see what has been the institute's opinion on these two issues. Now guys, first of all, let me tell you why was I so confident that this particular circular is mandatory for all the companies to be followed. Because of the way it was drafted. It was mentioned that it is minimum stipend which is to be fixed. It is hereby notified that minimum stipend for the students undergoing practical training from corporates or organization is recommended as follows. So bare minimum, the stipend which is to be given to the CMA articles who are undergoing training under corporates was recommended in this particular fashion, and the word used was a minimum. Therefore my opinion was that yes, this was the minimum standard, this was the minimum mandatory requirement, mandatory stipend which is to be given to the CMA trainees for sure. But we raised this question, we means our students of course raise these questions to the institute, to the studies department, and this is what is the response that we have received. The institute is recommending revisions. The revision and the decision lies with the respective organization. So this is the response which we have received from Dr. Madhumita Sen Gupta, Joint Director Studies, Training and Placement, Institute of Cost Accountants of India, making it amply clear that the limits which are prescribed in the circular are recommendatory in nature. They are not mandatory in nature. And guys, I think it was a mistake on our part that we misinterpreted it, because the circular itself says that the institute recommends these limits. It's not a mandatory application that yes, institute is guiding or enforcing the companies to fix these stipends for the students. So it is recommendatory in nature and not mandatory in nature. That is the first answer which we've got from the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Now the second question. The second question was that whether this limit was applicable to the existing students as well who are undergoing the training, whether their stipend will also be revised from 1st August 2024. That was the question. This is the minimum recommended structure. This minimum recommended stipend structure shall be applicable for all corporates and organizations other than PCMA with effect from 1st August 2024. Now we raised this question with the institute, and this is what we have got. So we have raised the question that whether the minimum stipend is applicable for the existing students or the students who are going to register themselves for training after 1st August 2024. The answer which we got was it is effective from 1st August 2024. It is effective from 1st August 2024, which makes it look like that this particular limit is only applicable to the students who are going to get their articleship registered from 1st August 2024. Although it is not very clear from this statement, and this statement is made by Dr. Nandi, Additional Secretary, who's the HOD also of our studies department, and this is the answer which we have received for our question number 1. Question number 2, whether the revision is mandatory or recommendatory, he's highlighted that it's a recommendatory in nature, again making it very clear that the limits are recommendatory in nature, they are not mandatory in nature, thereby putting a full stop on all the apprehensions, all the confusions which are there in the minds of the CMA students as of now. So yes, the thing is absolutely clear, so don't have any confusion in your mind whether it is recommendatory or mandatory, or whether it is applicable for the existing students also. This is applicable for students who are going to register themselves effective 1st August 2024 and onward year. Plus it's not mandatory, it's recommendatory, it's just a recommendation to the industry. Industry is absolutely free to fix up a stipend which is lower than this particular amount, so it's not a compulsion for them. And it's really important to for me to communicate it to all of you, because I don't want all of you to just fight in your organization. So this is the minimum standard which the institute has suggested for us, so please give us this much of amount, please don't fight. But yes, it has got a persuasive value. What do you mean by persuasive value? Persuasive value in law means it is not a conclusive document that yes, this has to be done. It's not conclusive. It has got a persuasive value, which means in discussions you can bring about this document and try to convince the other party that yes, you should fix up the minimum stipend according to the institute's recommendation, and this is what the institute has recommended. It's up to the other party whether to accept it or not. It's not mandatory for them to accept it. So yes, be mindful of whatever is institute's guideline, and accordingly you should tomorrow deal with these guidelines with your principals and your organizations. Of course not principals, because PCMA firms there is no revision in the limit, but for the organizations, please be mindful of what you're talking about, which circular are you referring to your employers or the organizations, and be careful of whatever you are talking about, because the institute has made their stand amply clear that these guidelines are recommendatory in nature. So yes, let's put an end to all the confusions and all the controversies. That's all for this particular video, guys. Till we meet in the next video, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, some further clarifications which we need to sort from the studies department, and they're really prompt in giving answers also. I'm really obliged. One or two of my students have emailed and quickly they got a response from the studies department. So it was really a pleasant interaction with them and putting an end to all the controversies. So yes, if you have any further queries, please jot down in the comment section below, and we can deal with it we can take it up with the department, with the institute once again. Till that time, all the very best and happy studying.